Hello and welcome to a Garmin Vivoactive 5 watch review. I was in love with the Vivoactive 3, so stay tuned to see how I think the 5 compares. Let's go! So hello and welcome to Active Ideas. My name is Kingsley and this is the top 10 things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5. What do I like about this watch? This is where my Garmin journey started. When I had the 920 XT, some of you guys and girls are old enough to remember that, some of you aren't, but basically I upgraded from that watch to the Vivoactive 3 and it was just a massive jump for me. Obviously the dream was always to have like a Fenix 3 HR, but yeah, that Vivoactive 3 was a watch at the time that I could afford and still came in with a lot of features. And with that watch I managed to complete my first Ironman, I completed my first marathon, and I also hiked all the way to the top of Snowdon, which is like the first time I'd ever done that in my life. So it was a watch that, although had a few limitations, it is an entry-level model, still allowed me to do all those things in my life that I really kind of dreamt of for a while. So yeah, if that sounds like you and you're looking to like start your fitness journey, you've heard of Couch to 5K, well the Vivoactive 3 took me from 5K all the way to the top of Snowdonia. So let's dive into why this updated Vivoactive 5 is a great buy. Now that older Vivoactive 3, it came in weighing in 43 grams, it only had 13 hours of battery life with GPS, and it wasn't known for its fantastic battery life. What you're getting with the Vivoactive 5 is 21 hours of GPS only mode, so that's really good from a watch, especially this small. It's also even lighter weight than that older model. So this one's coming in at 36 grams, and that's with the silicone band on, so you're getting a really super lightweight watch. I believe without the band it's only 26 grams, so this is like a fitness band, like you're getting a whole watch, but it's so light that it could be a band. And if you were to pair this with a nylon strap, I'll leave some links in the description, but this would weigh in like 28 grams maybe, like less than 30 grams. So you're getting a watch that, you know, it isn't fantastic battery life, and we will dive into that later. But for you guys looking for that health and fitness tracking, that wellness tracking, and just those kind of things, as well as being an awesome sports watch, you're getting a watch that's just no hassle, very comfortable to sleep in, very comfortable to wear throughout the day. So number one things of what you need to know about this watch is that it has fantastic sleep tracking. It really is a showstopper, the sleep tracking abilities, and it's got a lot to offer. So not only is it going to get those basics of like how long was your sleep duration, and by the way it does that fantastically, but with the Garmin Vivoactive 5 you're also going to be able to track your naps throughout the day. And I think for people who don't have the best sleep hygiene, this watch does a cracking job at kind of tracking your sleep quality throughout the night, and if you are to have a cheeky nap or two throughout the day, it will track that too. That information isn't being collected and just pushed into the cloud and forgotten about. It's all being used to calculate like your body battery, your stress levels, and how recovered your body is feeling that day. And you've got all these kind of recovery reminders that is all being calculated from sleep and other things as well. It's absolutely great. Obviously you're going to get all those basic features such as being able to see your light sleep, your deep sleep, your REM, and your awake time. But a new feature brought to Garmin recently is this sleep coach, and it's going to give you kind of advice. So yeah, maybe you had a terrible night's sleep and that's reflected in your HRV, and you've got like 6 hours, and I don't know, it was a very broken up sleep as well. Garmin's going to report that in your sleep score, but also let you know, look, because your sleep was so bad last night, our sleep coach is recommending that maybe you have an extra 45 minutes of sleep tonight, so kind of plan for that. And I think the sleep coach feature really is a fantastic addition to what this watch is capable of, and it's really exciting to see what direction Garmin are going to be taking this. Number two of the things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5 is the body battery. Now, there was a time where body battery wasn't automatically being added to your widgets, and I got a little bit scared as a massive Garmin fan that Garmin had fallen out of love with the body battery. So I've done a few videos about that and been like, this is an awesome feature, and it's great to see how much since then Garmin have invested into body battery. I think it's fantastic. Obviously, not just with this channel, but before this channel have used a lot of fitness trackers and sports watches. What I like about the body battery is genuinely, it is the best kind of one I've seen. So if you're looking to track, you know, the resources in your body, what you have left in your body, in your soul, I think that body battery is probably the most accurate look you're going to get to that. And it's taking a lot into consideration. I don't know what their exact algorithm is. I know that it is looking at heart rate variability as well throughout the day, but I must have been using body battery for like 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer, I don't know. But there hasn't ever been a day where I've looked at it and gone, that doesn't look right. It's always seemed to perfectly reflect and maybe put into words what I struggle to do myself. I don't feel great today, look at the body battery, yeah, maybe I should take it easy. Or maybe I'm not sure how I feel, I'm kind of in the middle of the road, look at the body battery, you've got like 70% in the tank left yet now, and it just lets you have that peace of mind that maybe you can go out, sneak the extra strength and conditioning session in. I think for people who maybe struggle with like ADHD, neurodivergent kind of issues of alexithymia, where you struggle to kind of like put together what your thoughts are, having body battery where you can look down and kind of visually see that is just a quick, nice little reminder and check in with yourself of how you may be feeling and maybe how much energy you have left for the rest of the day. So yeah, an absolute great feature I think for biohacking, wellness and health. So number 3 things that you need to know about the Garmin Vivoactive 5 is that it does have stress, meditation and breath work on this device. Now again, just moving on from body battery, what I like about the stress tracker, that's some more of like in this moment, how stressed are you? And again, I've used this for a long time. It was actually on the Vivoactive 3, so absolutely years ago. I really have used this for like 6, maybe 7 years, and I'm not sure if they've done any work to improve the algorithm, but it's always just really perfectly reflected, what I'm feeling. And sometimes, when I've been at work at Go8, it can be really busy because it's a very physically demanding job, but also like socially demanding because you're speaking to like sometimes hundreds of customers, if not more a day. It can be quite overwhelming, and there are moments where you just feel like breathlessness. So looking down at your watch and going on to stress and being like, yeah, my stress is like 90 out of 100. No wonder why I feel crap in this moment. It's a great reminder just to take your foot off the accelerator and allow yourself to take that guilt-free break that you need. I really value the stress tracking that Garmin have to offer. And what that leads into is that it will also do stress reminders. So if it can sense that you're kind of heavily stressed, it'll pop up and go, bro, you're looking pretty stressed right now. We've detected that. Maybe just take a breath. It actually offers you a guided breathwork protocol. So you can do meditation with this device or dive into the breathwork and kind of work on that to bring those stress levels down. I think it's all well and good, knowing that you're stressed. But Garmin's saying, look, you look a bit stressed right now. Maybe take a breath is a fantastic feature, and then guiding you through that. Kudos to Garmin, honestly, massive thumbs up for me for the stress feature. So number 4 things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5 is again that this thing has 21 hours of GPS only tracking mode. So that's actually quite mind boggling. This is tiny, again, like without the band weighs like 26 grams or something stupid. 21 hours of GPS tracking, that's enough to do an ultra marathon. If you're a speedy runner, you might be able to squeeze in about 100 miles. But for most of us, being able to do a 50-mile ultra marathon without worrying about battery life and track that with pretty good GPS tracking on this watch, I think it's great. So yeah, kudos to Garmin. Now there are some shortcomings when it comes to GPS. I've compared it against like the Suunto Vertical. It is pretty well established among reviewers that the Vertical by Suunto is like one of the best kind of trackers that you can get in terms of accuracy. That's just accepted now. It does have a great system, but when I've tested the Vivoactive 5 versus the Vertical, over the course of like a 4 or 5 mile run, maybe a 10-mile run, there's only really been like a 0.2 of a mile difference, along those lines of accuracy. So I think considering how much this costs, I think I got it for like £200. It's definitely an entry-level device, and the accuracy is great. It's not pinpoint accuracy that you might get when you pay £700 or £1,000 with Garmin to get a Fenix 7X Pro, but what you're getting is something that really is good enough. If there are you guys watching that are still using the Vivoactive 3, just to see those improvements in the GPS only chipset, whatever GPS chipset Garmin are using now, there have been some massive improvements in what GPS only can do from Garmin. So not only are you getting kind of more battery life than what Garmin used to offer with this model, but you're getting more accuracy, and again, for less than like 3 to 4 times of these top sport watch models, you're getting something that's, it's gonna get you to the top of Snowdonia like it did for me, or like through an Ironman, or maybe to complete your first marathon. The GPS is fantastic. Number 5 of things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5. Now, the live wallpapers I've really enjoyed. So I have this kind of cool Arctic looking one with mountain views, and you have the green northern lights up in the sky. I've chosen that as my live wallpaper. You have access to choose kind of different ones. It would be nice, and I'm not too sure if you're able to download even more. I think that would be pretty cool, but they've got a good selection. I've liked the one that I've chosen, and it just gives you more of that kind of smartwatch feel. feel. And I think, you know, it's 2024 now. I do think it's time to let go with a watch like this of the memory in pixel screen. It hurts to say that, just to get a watch that, you know, blends in with like a Google Pixel or a Samsung watch or a Hawaii watch, whatever you are kind of used to seeing in terms of a smartwatch, even the Apple Watch, you know, these big, bright, beautiful screens. It's nice to see Garmin offering that in an entry model device, and the live wallpapers really do help sell having this screen. Like, if you're going to have a screen that drains battery life pretty horrendously, at least give us some cool wallpapers, and Garmin have done that, so kudos to the live wallpapers. Number 6 of things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5 is the heart rate variability tracking. Now, it's nice to see what would have been considered a premium feature, a pro feature. It's trickled down now to, you know, the entry-level market, and heart rate variability is a fantastic feature. Forget training readiness and training analysis, forget all of it. Track your heart rate variability and make sure that you're within your baseline, and you know from that, forget everything else, you know from that if you're pushing yourself too hard in training or maybe not enough in training. Heart rate variability is so good that astronauts have used it scientifically to kind of monitor astronauts and, you know, going up into space and monitor their health and well-being. Lots of science on it, but you guys can use this heart rate variability to just make sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard or too little, and Garmin are going to help you digest that information and tell you what it all means. So I think Garmin have done a really good job of bringing this very complicated pro feature to the entry-level market in something that's really practical, something that's very useful. I really do like that this is going to help you with your training and with your life, and again slips a little bit more into that biohacking that you would see with a Whoop band. You know, heart rate variability, massive thumbs up. And if you're looking to do more of a manual check, Garmin are allowing you to do that. There's a feature called Health Snapshot. So when you've got this on your wrist, say you're laying in bed, or I don't know, you're sat at the cinema and you're bored watching some terrible film, you're at your girlfriend's or your boyfriend's, whatever you're doing, and you want to check, how stressed am I in this moment? If the vibe is right now good, you can go onto your Health Snapshot and take a really detailed view at your heart rate variability manually whenever you want, so I think that's quite good. Okay, number 7 of things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5. Now, we've got to talk about battery life, and it hurts me to say because I am a big Garmin fan and I'm a massive Vivoactive fan, but I think I might have got more battery life out of my Vivoactive 3, which, let's face it, was not known for its good battery life back in the good old days. Like, it was known for pretty terrible battery life, and I think I might have got more battery on that than I am getting on this. Now, I don't know what your use case is, and obviously bear in mind that I'm training for ultra marathons, so my training can look like anything from like 8 hours to 15, maybe 20 hours of training a week, depending on how injured or good I'm feeling. But I think for even a casual user, you'd be lucky to get 7 days out of this, and I think that's real world use. I've been using this with always on display. Obviously, you've got an AMOLED screen. Again, if you've got this beautiful screen and these live wallpapers, why wouldn't you use it? So I've been using it with always on display turned on, and I've tried to be a bit generous. Rather than have it on high power brightness, I've had it on medium, so average, medium for brightness. You have the option to have high, medium or low, and I've been lucky to get like 3 to 4 days out of this thing, so I'm not overly impressed with the battery life, and I haven't gone out to test, you know, if this will actually last 21 hours with GPS mode. But I don't know, with always on display, with the brightness turned up a little bit, I really don't know how close you're going to get to that 21 hours. Maybe it's possible, who knows. But yeah, again, I just haven't been overly impressed with this, and I think for the average casual user, you might get 7 days battery life. For those kind of low users who are just using this as a watch and maybe aren't using too much of the smartwatch features, notifications, maybe you can squeeze an extra couple of days, maybe 2 weeks, who knows. But I think most people, 1 week, if you're training a lot and looking to up your training, 4 to 5 days, and if you're ultra marathon training, 3 to 4 days. So not the best battery life on this watch. Now, number 8 things I think you need to know, and it's really hard even for a tech reviewer, with the 165, the Vivoactive 5, what else is there? We've got the Forerunner 265 There are so many watches around this price range that just, I can't keep up with what features are on what watch and what kind of market Garmin are trying to target. I do think it can get a bit confusing even for me, but one feature I really felt like was missing. I do think that a temperature sensor really needs to be on a watch like this now, and I think especially for the price they're asking for. I did manage to get this for £200. I bought this with my own money. The market value is about 260. That's, you know, almost 300 euros and probably about $350. Who knows what this costs in America? And I think for that kind of money, you're not getting a temperature sensor is absolutely wild. Now, for ladies, what does that mean? You do have women's health tracking on this device, but I know that lots of other companies, such as Apple, are using your temperature or your wrist temperature to kind of improve the algorithm and help actually make the women's health tracking a functional thing. You know, Apple are quite good at being conservative with their claims, but for a company like Apple to say, you know, they're using the temperature sensor to help to kind of predict ovulation is a massive claim, and knowing that you're not going to get a temperature sensor to help improve women's health tracking on this, I think it's just a massive downfall, because it is a great health tracker, and that's what you're competing with when you want to compete with these big brands such as Apple. Get the temperature sensor on your watch. Now, what did it mean for me? Obviously on this channel I've talked about how much myself and Abby love ice baths, and having the temperature sensor, for example, on the Sunto has been great, because I can jump into my ice bath and track my activity and see how cold it is in that ice bath. I know like the 955 or the Fenix models can track temperature, and maybe you're kind of doing a spin session on Zwift indoors and you can see that actually it got really hot whilst I was doing my session. You know, it was like 35 degrees in here. No wonder I was sweating and my heart rate was so high. So missing that information, the temperature information, is quite key. Again, for camping, just being able to leave your watch out for a few minutes and just see what the temperature is outside. I like going on holiday as well with, like, I had the Garmin Fenix 7 in Barbados, and being able to check the temperature of the sea from my watch. I just think it's such a basic thing now to be able to track temperature. It really should be on a watch that costs this much. And I think even the Chorus Pace 2, which you can probably buy for like £130, 140 euros, maybe $150, around that ballpark, very cheap, the older Chorus Pace, that has temperature sensing on it. So yeah, you definitely need to start bringing that to the watches, Garmin. On all of them, get it on there. So number 9 things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5 is the weather and the world clock. Now, I've made a few videos about Garmin that maybe weren't the most positive, but when I called these things out, they seem to get fixed pretty quickly. So I'm a little bit convinced that maybe at least a few Garmin employees might have seen those videos and kind of actively worked towards fixing them. So I think it's also important to call out the really good things. Now, one thing I did call out about Garmin is I couldn't see why on some of the watches you had this awesome interface where you could scroll through the world clock and select exactly the country, the town, the village that you were looking for to add that time zone to your clock. And that interface back then on the Fenix 7S, oh my lord, my mind was blown. Also, the weather features on this watch are kind of beyond what you'd expect from an entry-level model. You're getting so much weather features. You can see like the hourly weather, you can see the weather throughout the day and the week, and you can really get nerdy about it, and that's what surprises me. The interface is smooth when you scroll through it. You can see what the cloud coverage is, you can see what the UV index is, the humidity, the air quality, like whatever you want to dive into, that information is there. So fair play to Garmin. I do call them out for maybe things that need improving, but this is a good call out where I actually think they've got the nail on the head. Thank you for bringing a fantastic world clock and a fantastic weather app to the Vivoactive 5. Now, they do claim on their website that it does have sunset and sunrise tracking, and maybe it's just me, but I can't seem to find that app on this watch. And I know it was on the Vivoactive 3 as well. They had this cool interface where you could flick through the days, and you could see as the days went on the different times that sunrise and sunset would happen, dusk and dawn. I'm struggling to find that information on the Vivoactive 5. Maybe it's just me, but if it's not there, Garmin, please bring it, because again, it's such a basic feature, and I think for those guys who want it, they should at least have the option to add it to their widgets. Now we're going to finish on number 10 things that you need to know about the Vivoactive 5, and it's not something that I'd usually bring up, to be honest, but it is an entry-level device and it's a Vivoactive 5, and I think a lot of you guys who are kind of interested in this watch are going to be interested in the step tracker. Now, the step counter is very accurate, and I didn't really realise how good it was until like a few days ago. A subscriber commented on my videos and said, I like the Suunto, but I can't stand how bad the step tracker is. So just yesterday or the day before, I went to go and check. I did 40 steps, made sure I counted to 40, so it was exactly 40 steps. I did it arm swinging normally, and this got 41 steps, and the Suunto got 42 steps. And then I did arms completely still and not moving. I just kept them upright like this and then walked. And the Vivoactive 5 by Garmin got, again, 41 steps. My actual amount of steps was 40, but very impressive because I was turning and all kinds of stupid things. And so, to my surprise, the Suunto got 0 steps, even though I had done 40. So it looks like Garmin have put in quite a lot of effort into their step algorithm. It looks like the step tracker has been improved, and it's very accurate, at least compared to maybe what other brands will offer. So fair play to Garmin for a fantastic step tracker. And for you guys and girls who are quite interested in hitting your targets, 10,000, 15,000, maybe 20,000 steps a day if you're mad, and having an accurate step counter and step tracker, I think, is an important addition. So yeah, well done Garmin. But yeah, thank you for watching the video on the Vivoactive 5. I think you can see this is a watch and series, the Vivoactive, that's really close to my heart. As I said, I've always been into sports. I liked, running, a bit of football, but it was the Vivoactive that took me from, someone who was casually into sports to doing his first marathon, doing my first 70.3 Ironman, climbing up my first mountain towards Snowdonia. Fair play to Vivoactive. I think it's a watch that will grow with you, and maybe one day you'll outgrow it and upgrade to a Forerunner or a Fenix or maybe a different brand. But the Garmin Vivoactive is a great watch for people just looking to begin taking their health tracking, their fitness tracking a bit more seriously, and I think this watch does it well. For you upgrading from the old Vivoactives, maybe 3 or 4s, absolutely just go for it. For you guys who maybe have like a Fitbit band or something just super old and you're looking to kind of begin that health journey, I couldn't recommend the Vivoactive more. Again, I have bought this with my own money, but as I said, I used the Vivoactive 3 for maybe like 3 years and just absolutely loved that watch. So there is a little bit of biasy there. I do have a soft spot for it. And it isn't perfect, it is missing the temperature sensor, the battery life wasn't great, but again, for the price and all of these features, the great weather tracking and GPS tracking that you're gonna get, I think it's a fantastic addition to the very complicated amount of Garmin watches that we have today. I would be sad if they stopped the Vivoactive. Yeah, keep going Garmin, don't let go of this model and just bring more to it. And don't worry about confusing the Vivoactive with the Forerunner series. How hard is it to add, courses to this map maybe? More people are getting into and understanding what a GPX is and doing their first little race. It's just a piece of software, but yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and peace out. So thanks for watching, you know the drill, like, comment and subscribe if you can. My slogan, dreams are a step away, and remember, show compassion, show esteem and have fun out there. Peace out.